This is part 2 of the guide on how to build muscle more easily, more optimally, with actionable steps in place. So, before the guide actually starts, I'll give you some information, some education. So, muscle is actually made up of muscle fibers, and these muscle fibers are made up of proteins, which are made up of amino acids. And basically, these fibers stretch the entire length of the muscle and contract to bring each other closer so that the muscle shortens and the movement actually occurs. And these fibers are made up of proteins like actin and myosin, which are made up of their own amino acids. And our body gains these essential amino acids to build up the protein from eating food. We get the essential amino acids and fatty acids that we need to build a muscle and to get the hormones in place through food. So basically, to build muscle, you eat these specific foods, which is fatty animal products and meat, like eggs, red meat, fish, butter, ghee, maybe some bacon in there or pork if you opt for it, which will optimize the level of the hormones that we want, like testosterone and cortisol, because from the fat that we get from the foods is basically going to elevate the correct hormones and get them to the right place. And it's going to get you the essential amino acids that you need to build up the specific proteins which get incorporated into muscle. So eat more meat, eat more fat to build more muscle quicker. That's it. And basically, eat meat and fat till you're full. If you want to put on weight, which is mostly going to be water and muscle, or if you want to lose weight, you eat till you're moderately full. And the weight that you lose is probably going to be fat. So the counterpoints that you may have. What about plants? Aren't plants good for you? Don't you need your vegetables? In my experience, and according to science, building muscle solely based on an animal-based diet is way easier and more effective and way healthier than compared to a diet which solely focuses on plant products like plant proteins and plant fats. Think about it this way: is it easier for us to make animal products out of animal products, or would it be easier for us to make animal products out of plant products? The first option, right? It's easier to make muscle out of meat than it's easier to make muscle out of soy or some shit or pea protein. Why? Because I've learned that the proteins and fats in animal products are more bioavailable, which means they are more readily usable by our body because they are the same molecules, or if they are way closer to the same molecules that our body uses to make the stuff that we are made of. Like the molecules and the compounds in the plants and its products are similar enough that we are able to use them to some extent, but not as good as, or they're not as bioavailable as animal products or the compounds and molecules found in them. Of course, you may still put on muscle on a vegetarian diet through pea protein, through soy protein or some shit, but you're not going to be as healthier or as high of a testosterone as a guy as you should be compared to a diet which solely focuses on animal based products, like which would mean less testosterone for you, less morning wood for you, less of a drive to like beat the competition and build more muscle. So choose what you want to. You also may ask about what about carbohydrates? Don't you need that for energy? I say otherwise. You can use fat for energy. First of all, carbohydrates are not essential. Search it up. There's no such thing as essential carbohydrates, only essential proteins, essential fats. First of all, they are not essential. Second of all, having elevated levels of sugar, which is basically that carbohydrates, carbs are sugars, is going to elevate your level of insulin. And why does the body elevate the level of insulin? To reduce the amount of sugar in the blood, right? Why? Because it at above a certain level, sugar in our blood is basically toxic to us, which is why we secrete insulin to reduce the amount of sugar in our blood. And over time, the effect that insulin has of lowering your blood sugar is going to decrease, which means you're going to need more and more and more insulin to keep the same amount of elevated blood sugar and bring it down to a happy, safe level, which in the long run makes you resistant to insulin. And when you're resistant to insulin, you can't lower your blood sugar levels, and that's how you end up with diabetes. That's how we end up with glycation, and it's like awful symptoms. So why we're putting a thing in our body which is not even essential for us? We don't need it. We can survive off the essential fatty acids and amino acids. And why are we putting such a thing in our body which is basically toxic to us above a certain level? Even in my own experience, I was able to like cut down layers of fat from my body by getting into a calorie deficit through cutting out carbs, which come from rice, pasta, fruit sugar, whatnot. It helped me go from like being fat to fit. It helped me go from having wide hips to having wide shoulders. Why can't you do the same? Trust me on this one and go on a ketogenic diet with no carbs for a couple of months and just see the difference. You feel more fresher, you feel more energetic, you feel more excited to hit the gym, you have higher testosterone. Just get on it. It'll help you lose the stubborn fat that you have. So, touching on the part where I mentioned quality of the fats and proteins. I previously talked about this, but essentially think about it like steps, like plant protein and fats, processed animal proteins and fats, unprocessed animal proteins and fats, which lies at the top. So, personally never been a fan of vegetables, so I never really got into the plant-based diet. But I would eat a lot of meat, even the processed stuff like frozen breaded chicken tenders. I'll just fry them up in some oil and eat that. Even the Indian street foods which are made out of meat, which I don't know what is made out of, and even macas, which is just processed stuff. Even the meat is processed and gone through processes like industrial machines and whatnot. But no. And after cutting these things out, like the processed meat, and switching in the unprocessed one, which is more healthier for me, like simple things like chicken thighs, chicken breasts, eggs, bacon, which is basically just pork belly smoked with some wood. That's bacon. People say it's processed, but there's minimal processing to it. Just getting this simple stuff like has helped me to avoid the processed food, to get more healthier and to get more fitter. And I suggest you do the same. Like for example, instead of getting the pre-marinated chicken skews that the shop sells, which is made up of honey soy or something. What is even honey soy? Like there's honey in it which is gonna increase your insulin, so why bother? The soy in it, which basically reduces your testosterone, and what else is in there to get the flavoring of honey soy? I don't know. So instead of that, just getting the simple chicken thighs and marinating it myself with salt and pepper and chili if I would like to, I get the certainty that everything in there is healthy. I get the certainty that I'm getting like right calories in and nothing more and nothing less, which is just great and amazing because you get to be certain, so your mental is clear, and if you're certain, you know what the amount of stuff you're eating is great for your calorie surplus or calorie deficit. It means you're on the right path. So why even bother with the processed shit then? It's unhealthier for you and probably gonna fuck up your fitness journey. So the action step for this part of the guide is next time you go grocery shopping, opt for getting one ingredient animal products for you to eat. Like anything you like, such as eggs, bacon, chicken thighs, breasts, beef, or any cuts of beef that you like, which is unprocessed, go for it. Even beef mince is fine if they haven't added anything to it. And one tip I'll give you, this wasn't in the script, but anything that you buy, just take a look at the ingredients. Just be like a hawk and see every ingredients list that you come across to pick out the stuff that you don't know. What is xanthan gum? Search it up. Probably not good for you if you have never heard of it. Probably some industrial chemical that they use. So apart from that, get more fatty meat in and build more muscle to get more jacked. Thank you for watching.